Well, I've seen him do that in practice about 50 times. So the guy took a not great angle on him. Obviously, he's never played against Ken. So
Till has met leather, and we are underway. And the first touch is for Kenneth Walker. And a breakaway down the far sideline. And Kenneth Walker, the middle, Thorne, able to get the pass away out across the 30. Terrific second effort by Connor Heyward. And it's a foot race for the pylon. And Kenneth wins it, diving in for the touchdown.
Welcome back to the Spiro Avenue Show. And normally I regale the audience with, 5, 7, 8 minutes of a brilliant intro sharing my great thoughts. Not tonight, when your two guests have a walkthrough an hour and a half away at 7 a.m. You get right to the chase. We're going to get right to the chase. But first, got to get to the sponsor really quick. It is our good friends, one of the originals of the Spiro Avenue Show, our friends at Virgil's Vineyard, virgilsvineyard.com. It is the smuggler's son. The finest wine in town, the finest wine you can find anywhere. We highly recommend the Smuggler's Son. Check them out, virgilsvineyard.com. And remember the discount code SPIRO, S-P-I-R-O, at checkout. Again, S-P-I-R-O at checkout for that 10% discount. It is the best wine. Check it out. You'll love it, I promise. Let's get right to it. I told you I'm not doing the intro tonight because we're on a time crunch, but I'm excited. I'm going to get right to it. We have two certified Spartan dogs in the house. Everyone knows we have Michigan guests. I talk about the Pistons. I run the gamut, but the heart is in East Lansing always, and the heart is being brought forward tonight. So again, two certified Spartan dogs fresh off a big win, unexpected to some. We'll get to that in a minute, against Northwestern on the road. One of these guys caught the first pass of the year and thrived in a new role. I'm excited about that. And the other steamrolled guys for the entirety of 60 minutes. It's an honor to have both of them. I want to get right to it. First, Connor Heyward, Ken Walker III. Happy to have you. Welcome to the Spiro Avenue Show.
Good to be here. Appreciate you for having us.
I know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Now, you've been here once before, not on the show, Connor, but it's your second time in the area. You were at that great Jalen Watts Jackson event. We talked about you doing the show at some point. I'm glad to have you. I want to start here. Northwestern win. I know guys don't always pay attention to the Vegas stuff. You can't really get into that, and we don't get into that with players, certainly. But if you weren't aware, you're 3 to 3.5 point underdogs. Not a big line, but the general perception was, coin flip or you're probably going to lose. That's not what happened. You go on the road against the defending Big Ten West champions. Not the most hostile of atmospheres, but still a road game at night, Friday night, and you destroy them. I mean, it's 38-21. Arguably wasn't even really that close. I think you guys probably kept some things in the playbook, certainly. I was surprised, not that you won. I thought you would win. I was surprised at how dominant the offense looked. 38 points was more than any points scored in any game last year. The previous high was 29. So, I mean, you outpaced anything we saw last year. I was in the middle of watching my other school, my grad school, University of North Carolina Tar Heels, get shocked by Virginia Tech on the road. I was not happy about that. And those games butt up right against each other. So I'm watching UNC fall apart, and I'm a little bit sad, but I know we're kicking off. And the game flips, and it's like, I don't have 2 seconds to settle into you guys. This is what happens the second I turn the remote control, it goes to your game. So let's start there.
Almost thought he was the favorite the entire offseason.
All right, Till has met leather, and we are underway. And the first touch is for Kenneth Walker. And a breakaway down the far sideline. And Kenneth Walker will take it to the house.
So, yeah, I didn't have like the Rolos and the Diet Coke out yet, and that happens. So that was a hell of a start to the year. You end up going on a video game-worthy rampage in that game. Correct me if I'm wrong, Connor. Didn't you spring that run with a pretty nice block, too?
Yeah, I made a pretty nice block. Jaden Reed actually sealed the perimeter, blocked two guys, blocked his guy over top of him, and, ended up blocking another guy, and, Ken did what he does.
So it was a hell of a start, obviously. I mean, even if you felt good about the game going in, we'll throw up your stats for the few people that haven't had this cross their desk yet. This is what the Ken Walker day looked like on Friday night at Northwestern. This is insane. I mean, 264 yards rushing. It's the 7th highest total in Michigan State history, which, by the way, dates back to the late 1800s. I mean, it's like we're like 15 years before the Titanic sank. This program's been around. So to be the 7th highest total in that history is insane. 4 touchdowns. Numbers speak for themselves. Honestly, if the game were close, I think you would have been even higher. I think there was a little bit of load management there, but blew my mind, obviously. No one was expecting your performance. I heard Colton Pouncey's a friend of mine. He's been on the show. He said, watch out for Ken Walker. I don't think your mom, your best friend in the world was like, oh, yeah, Ken's running for 264 opening night. But there was a group that was not surprised by your performance. Your teammates. Your teammates seemed to think this wasn't even all that surprising. Peyton Thornton says, kind of shrugging, I've seen this guy do this 50 times in practice. Like, it wasn't even a big deal. Xavier Henderson kind of shrugged, said, yeah, I mean, that's Ken being Ken. Were you surprised at least a little bit? Ken, we'll start with you. Your performance, I mean, I'm sure you're a self-confident guy, but, like, come on. Did you see that coming?
Honestly, it was a shocker for real. But, like, it was a real team effort, you know, Connor. You seen him in the video blocking, you know what I mean? The O-line did a great job the whole night. You know, the wide receivers, you seen Jaden on that play. He was blocking. That's just one play, you know what I'm saying? They did that the whole game. So, you know, I give a lot of credit to those guys because if it wasn't for them, that wouldn't have been possible.
Were you getting like insane volume of text messages? Or you go to your locker after the game? Like, what was that like?
Yo, it was crazy, actually. Like, my followings went up, like, by, like, bro, I don't even know, like 8,000 or something like that.
You jumped 8,000?
Like, I started off like 4,800 followers before the game. And like after that game, like I'm at like 12K now. 12,
you did. Your relative bond for overnight is just insane, or like in a week or whatever that is.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. Did you hear from anybody, like alums or anything, like anybody that we would know, or like anybody kind of cool?
Oh, yeah, actually.
Tell them.
I'm glad I asked. I did not know this in advance. I don't know who you're about to say.
Magic Johnson reached out to me.
Magic Johnson reached out to you?
Actually crazy. I was not expecting that. So
are you in your Twitter DMs?
Yeah, he tweeted it out on his little deal, his tweet.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And then today I actually got to talk to Reggie Bush and everything. Like, had a little interview with him.
You talked to Reggie Bush today?
Yeah.
It's like one of the 5 best college running backs ever. I mean, probably the best I saw. I miss Barry. That's awesome, man. It's got to be surreal for you. Yeah. Like, I mean, isn't that part of the appeal of coming to Michigan State? I mean, not to denigrate Wake Forest or any other program, but like, isn't that kind of a stage sort of some of the appeal?
Right. Yeah, it's crazy because like this culture here is so different. Like, it's a lot of stuff I still haven't learned. Like, walking around here, I'm like, dang, I'm like learning all this history. It's like that. It's lit. You
were getting a crash course walking through, like, yeah. Ken and Connor walk in and they're going through like the Spiro Museum, like on the way to the studio. I mean, honestly, and we'll get to him later, but like, it reminded me a lot of when Anthony Russo was here. Yeah. He was like, "Who's that guy? Like, tell me about that guy." Like, I love when guys come in and they actually care. Like, you're seeing pictures from like literally the 50s and 60s, and you're like, "Who's that guy? Who's that guy?" Like, that's someone that like actually gives a hoot and hell about the program. I don't know. I mean, Connor, your performance was interesting because, for one, again, first catch of the year out of the box, which is nice to see. I've been a big fan of yours for a long time. I love that your hands are going to be a big part of what you're doing. I mean, I don't know if you guys in-house call this H-back. That's what everyone else is calling it. It's an H-back presentation. I mean, it's a new role for you, obviously, but you thrived in it early. How did you feel like coming out of the gate, getting off to a good start right away and doing well out of the gate?
Honestly, credit to my teammates and the coaches because it was a transition for me. Some of the stuff came natural, some of the stuff didn't. Some stuff I'm still working at. But I guess you would say H-back, tight end. You know, I meet with the tight ends now. I'm not in the running back room, unfortunately. I kind of miss them. But all the tight ends, they've welcomed me with open arms, and they've supported me, and I've supported them, and we've all just pushed each other to be better. And I saw this opportunity, and the coaches saw this opportunity, and I took full advantage of it, and hopefully I can continue to do that. And hopefully we can just go 1-0, week by week, and not overlook anybody.
Yeah, I think that has to be the mentality. And it is a cliche, but it's a good one. It's a cliche for a reason. Try to just win every week. Obviously, any opening to a season, at least for a member of the team, somebody like me that's a diehard fan, as you can probably gather from your environment. The first game of the year is obviously a big deal always. This year had a particular sort of backdrop to it that made it intriguing in regards to the quarterback battle. Peyton Thorne versus Anthony Russo, it's something that the second Russo transfers here, it's carrying through the entire offseason. It seems kind of like everybody, I don't know a single exception in Spartan Nation. Everybody I knew, everybody I saw publicly really likes both guys. Like there wasn't this, even when Damian Terry was here, you had like the Damian Terry camp and there was like factions, like people like Maxwell or whomever. It wasn't really like that. It was like kind of everyone loved both guys, but it did drag on for a long time. You stole the spotlight, Ken, in one play. I mean, that was going in. Everyone's like, who's going to start? We don't know. An hour before, maybe you knew we're going to get to that. Fans had no idea. You stole the spotlight, but I want to get back to that because we touched on you. When did you guys find out? Like, when did you know who was starting?
So they never like publicly or like obviously they didn't publicly come out and say that. And Coach Tuck didn't even say anything. Coach Johnson really didn't say anything. They were kind of just taking both reps with the ones. They're still doing that, but we feel comfortable with either or guy. And, they're both great leaders and we know what both of them do. They both are good at the same things and, some bring different things to the table. And hopefully, we can show what both are able to do. I think we're deep at every position. And Coach Tuck really talks about having depth. The more depth is the better. And obviously you want to play a lot of guys because the more guys you play, the more guys are invested in, the more roles guys, can end up having, whether, they start on special teams or they start on offense. But Coach Tuck always talks about special teams, if he wants starters on special teams, like does not matter. And, if you need a break, take a break on offense or defense because, special teams can, win or lose you a game.
I agree on like the rotating guys, but I would argue quarterback would be like the one exception where, again, just as a fan on the outside, I love use 10 receivers. I even like, we're kind of doing something odd by normal standards, rotating in a ton of offensive linemen. I like what Cap's doing there. The quarterback kind of is the one exception where it's probably not going great if you're, two quarterback system in and pulling guys, yanking guys. I was a big fan of Peyton Thorne last year, like pumped him up, loved him. I was on the, if you will, friendly like Team Russo thing all offseason. Now I'll admit, I got to be up front. I'm a little biased because Connor, you were at the event, but I invited Anthony Russo to my Michigan State event. I invited Peyton Thorne to my Michigan State event. One guy didn't respond, and one guy was like, I'm in, tell me all about it. So I'm a little painted by that. There's Anthony and I at the Trouble with the Snap event back in July. So I do admit I'm biased, but I love both guys. I think I was a representative example of the fan base. Like, I don't think, even though it was sort of friendly, I don't think the fan base had any, like, animosity at all. And I'm sure you guys didn't either, it doesn't sound like. But was there any element of, and either one of you can take it, but any element of, kind of I'm Team Russo or I'm Team Thorne, like any division at all there?
No, not at all. I think both guys are great. On and off the field, they're great leaders. And then actually Russo was my roommate when we first got here, so I got a bone with him. And then Peyton, I have a bone with him as well. Like I actually went to Naperville, that's where he's from. I got a chance to stay with his family and get to meet his family and everything. And we stayed there for like a week on a break. But both guys are great. No animosity against either.
Yeah, it's like you're allowed to like both, right?
Yeah, both of them cool guys for real.
It'll be interesting because it's like I'm like I said, I'm a Russo fan, met him, great guy. I think he's really talented. I mean, he has an NFL level arm. Man. So it's kind of like I want to see him get a chance, but does that mean Peyton Thorne is hurt or not playing well? I don't want to see either of those things. Right. So it is a tough spot, but it's a good problem to have. Like Michigan State having two starting caliber quarterbacks is a good problem to have if you even want to call it that. Right. So we'll transition to this. Mel Tucker has changed a lot of things, and we're going to get into some of that in a minute. And, there's a big Dantonio fan here. He's all over the walls too. Love both guys, but it is different. So I want to start, Ken, with you here. You're coming at it from different perspectives. So Connor was here already and was a Coach D guy that stayed, thankfully. You came in from the outside. So right. you were at Wake Forest. Mel Tucker has said openly, I'm going to aggressively attack the transfer portal. He's not hiding it. He's going after these guys. So you're in the transfer portal coming from Wake Forest. You end up committing to Michigan State on January 6th. You announced it on Twitter. The commitment had the nation in such a frenzy. There was actually a riot at the Capitol about your commitment to Michigan State, January 6th. I think that was the background, right? Who commits the day that there's an insurrection at the Capitol? I thought you had very interesting timing. But you commit January 6th. But take me through sort of the process before that. Like the portal's still relatively new. It's very new to me. I haven't gone through it, obviously. Like, what's that process like? Are you on your couch one day and Mel sends you a text message, or like what was it like, and what was his pitch to you?
Actually, I didn't even know much about Michigan State at all when I first entered the transfer portal. Before entering, it was like kind of nerve-wracking because like you don't know if like anybody wants you when you enter the portal, Then you have to go back to the same school and be like, damn, like can you accept me back? What I'm saying? But yeah, so when I got in the portal, schools just hit me up, and then I end up I actually talked to Coach Peaks first. One of my boys, he played high school with me. His uncle knew a lot about the portal, so he was able to navigate through there and like give me like tips and everything. And I was able to talk to Coach Peaks and everything, and he told me about how Coach Tuck was building a program, and that's how I was introduced to Coach Tuck, like through that. So ended up getting on the phone with Coach Tuck. He was telling me everything, how he's changing the culture and things like that. He told me like he was pretty much intense. He was like, already intense like over the phone, so like I liked that, and he was like willing to like. I knew he was gonna be able to coach me up and make me into a better player.
So you felt like the fire coming through right away.
Yeah.
I mean, is there something? I mean, changing the culture, which I've heard him say too publicly, that could mean anything. Does he talk about like what he's looking for, what he liked in you, what he's trying to create? Is it more just kind of a general scatter shot approach?
Yeah, he was telling me my skill set and everything, like what he liked, my vision, my explosiveness, and things like that. And he was saying he believed I could be an impact in the offense.
Yeah.
Things like that.
He's 1 for 1 so far. he's off to a good start on that one. Like, and this is kind of like, I get to both of you. We'll start with you, Connor. Does Mel Tucker the dude? I mean, we know what we see. Obviously, there's got to be some things that you guys see that we don't see at a press conference. I wouldn't want my coach to be everything on the sleeve, but just Mel Tucker the dude. Like, what is he like? Is that hip image where he's tweeting out pictures of his shoes and stuff? Is that like really the guy, or is that like a marketing guy in his ear like, hey, do this? Like, what is he like? Just the dude?
No, that's Coach Tuck for sure.
That's him.
He comes every day with new pairs of shoes, trying to look all nice in his Lulu joggers, with his Perrier water, super bougie, but he's super funny. But he, when it's time to lock in, and he's a great leader. He definitely gets us all behind him, and he kind of he's gotten us to be more of a player-led team. Like, we're in the leadership group, and there's probably about 15 other guys, but he's intense. He'll coach you up. He's not one of them coaches that kind of sits back. He coaches every position, doesn't matter. He watches every position. Sometimes you do individuals with the DBs, but he's all over the place. He's fully invested. His hands are really on the program, and he wants to see the program grow. He not just for him, but for everybody. He wants us all to play in the National Football League. He wants us to win national championships. He wants us to win conference championships because this is stuff he's done before. He's won 2 national championships, and he's talked about it, not in a bragging way, but he's like, I know what it takes. So I feel like we all trust him a lot, and we trust the staff and everybody else, and because you just have seen it. He always talks about the progress of everything in the process, and it started in the weight room, and then we got really good nutrition. So he's really building it from ground up, and when you see that and he's bringing all the right stuff in the training room, just doing all this, you're like, all right, yeah, this guy really wants it, and it makes us even want it more for him and for us.
Right.
Your training is unbelievable, what you guys have done there with the training and nutrition. Like, I joked about the before and afters that MSU football's Twitter account. I wish I had pulled some. I didn't know we were going to go here. It looks like a photoshopped P90X ad. Like, I mean, it looks like fake. But it's not. It's just unbelievable, the transformation. Like, we've talked about a little bit before. You talked about Mel bringing up national contention. And I've been there twice, in an assistant role. I know what it takes. We've talked about it a little bit. And he had a quote about recruiting. I think he was actually still at Colorado, or it was right after he came here, but about his sort of philosophy. And he said, like, look, these kind of 5'8", 145 guys that are dominating high school and may be able to help you out are great, against Eastern Michigan or whomever. But when you see them in these big games against Bama, Auburn, Clemson, these guys just get pushed around. And his recruiting philosophy is like, look, I'm not saying I'll take 0 smaller guys, but he's big on size, and we've seen that. Every guy they get now is like 6'4" and beefy, or, I mean, Ken, you're I was joking with Kato this morning. I'm like, I'm in the gym trying to look like you now. I mean, not to get weird on you, but my God, I mean, your pictures, we're talking about the impressive fitness and stuff. But like, that's the kind of guy he's going for. And he's going for it because, like, I don't want to win 10 games and be in Indy, and maybe I would, maybe I don't. He wants to win a national championship at Michigan State. Now, people laugh at that. I don't think you guys think that's insane in terms of that's where he really thinks you guys, maybe not this year, but big picture can win a national title at some point with him there. Is that fair to say?
I think this year.
I think this year, actually.
You're going for it this year?
Yeah, like, I'm not. If we go in the season thinking that we may not win it this year, blah, blah, then we'll never win one. Like, if you got a mindset of, like, you're not going to win something, then you're just not going to do it. So, like, that's, like, the mentality now. We expect to win national championship. We expect to go in and win a national championship.
Man, I love it. But you think, but he really thinks that, though.
Yeah.
This isn't him.
No.
He's drilling that in.
We have enough. He always says we have enough in this room.
Exactly.
We don't need everyone in the room, but we have enough.
Right.
And we finally have a lot of depth at a lot of positions. Like you mentioned earlier, we're rotating offensive linemen, and, it's first couple games of the year. Everybody's going to get tired. We were tired, so those big guys up front are going to get tired.
Oh, yeah.
So just even them getting those reps will help for later on in the season. And, we can't look too far.
Right.
We got Youngstown State, They ran the ball 61 times last game. They're going to try to make the game, long or shorten the game out, however you want to say it, and keep our defense out on the field and try to limit our opportunities. But we're ready.
Yeah,
I really do think we have enough, and we have the guys, and we finally have the mindset. Like, I think before we kind of lacked the mindset, but the work we put in and on the field, in the weight room, and in the film room, I think it's going to pay off in the long run.
Right, and you can tell it's a difference. Like, from winter to now, like, people are buying in to, like, what we're doing and what Coach Tucker's teaching. You know what I mean? It's like, and we got chemistry together. A lot of transfers came in, like, but, like, we all have a bond together, and, like, we all got a winning mindset. So I really do believe it.
If you have, like, some kind of personal issue, I mean, take your pick, your aunt that you love is sick or something. Like, he doesn't seem super warm and fuzzy. Like, is he a guy you can knock on his door and say, hey, Coach, I got whatever going on? I don't know if that's even come up. It's not my business with you guys, but do you get the sense that he's can kind of play that side too?
Yeah. Yeah, you can talk to him off the field.
He's approachable?
Yeah, I actually talked to him off the field. Like, intense in practice, that's how it's supposed to be, like, on our ass and things like that. But, like, after that, man, you can talk to him. Go talk to him about anything, school, anything you need to talk to. Like, I remember one time he actually, like, asked us to come up there, like, the transfers, to make sure, like, everything was going good. And he wanted to know, like, things to better the program and things like that, because he really cares. Like, he genuinely cares for the players and everybody around.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big thing, and we're going to get to this for Connor. That was a big thing I always heard from Dantonio's players. I mean, Darian Harris, who you guys know because he's working for the program now, but has been on the show and has said, Dantonio's like a dad. I mean, you could go to him with anything. I want to compare him a little bit, and we'll get it. So we've talked about this before. It's sort of our Mel versus Mark, and there's so many similarities there, even dating back to their playing days. I mean, they were both defensive backs. They both have won national titles as defensive coordinators. They're both from the Nick Saban coaching tree. And then you start to get into some of the differences. Mel has seemingly a great affection for the media and plays into it. Mark seemed to, at best, tolerate the media. I would argue it was contempt, but whatever. Mel openly talks about that, national recruiting. Mark is more of a regional guy. It was Ohio, a lot of Illinois, obviously Michigan as well. Mel is big on, I want players with size. We talked about that a little bit. Dantonio, famous for having a lot of undersized, scrappy dudes, a lot of, the Blair White types. No right or wrong answer, just different mentality. Mel's approach seems to be everyone's replaceable. He talked about that. Like, look, if you're not buying in, you can leave. Like, if that's your attitude, if you're not going to be with us, get out. Mark seemed to have more of an undying loyalty to players and staff. Guys could make multiple mistakes, be brought back in. People wanted certain coaches gone. Didn't matter what happened. He kept them. So there are a lot of differences there. Ken, you can text your girlfriend or whatever. You can take 30 seconds because you didn't play under Coach Dantonio. Yeah. So you can take this one out. This will be obviously for Connor. But can you talk about the differences? I talked about what I saw. How are they different? How have things been changed?
I'll start off with how they're pretty similar. Feel like they're both really loyal guys. You can go to them about anything. Coach Dantonio, even with me leaving, he come to practice, me and him talked, we're good, everything's good. We never had a bad relationship. I actually really looked at him as a father figure and someone, that I could go to about anything. But they're both intense. Coach Dantonio is a little more reserved, laid back. Coach Tuck does not matter who you are, player, coach. You must be ready at all times. You must be, bought in and actually engaged in everything you do. With Coach Dantonio, you had to be engaged as well, but Coach Tuck is more young. He understands the new school, but he's real with the old school too. No flair, none of the armbands, none of that. We're not even really allowed to wear towels.
Really?
I had to ask him to wear a towel. Or if you're a center, punter, long snapper, or quarterback, you can wear a towel. But if you don't go up to him and ask him, you're not allowed to wear a towel. It's
like a George Steinbrenner thing with no sideburns.
He calls it meat and potatoes. And like you said, I'll piggyback off the national recruiting. I really do think our coaches does not matter where you are, where you're from, what background you came from. Coach Tuck is going to get the best players. And in the tight end room today, Coach Gilmore, the guys that are playing right now, protect your job. The guys that aren't playing, try to take their job. So every day you get to come in with that mindset, I got to protect my job. And I like that. It makes you compete. It makes the guys behind you compete. And it just overall makes the team better. And they always talk about making it a competitive culture and a competitive just atmosphere. And when you do that, it just brings the best out in everybody. And, everybody understands their role. And everybody knows that whenever they're out there, they need to make the most of it. Because if not, you're out the game or you're out of practice. It doesn't matter if it's an ABC drill or if it's a team drill or if it's special teams. Whenever you're out on the field, you better take it serious. You better have your mouthpiece in, helmet strapped, no helmets off at practice. And it's business. It's college, but it's a job. I get more of a job vibe. I'm here to work every day. And Coach Antonio, we had that vibe, but I feel like it was just so laid back in a way. They would rip us, but it was just different. And that's not to bash him. It was just a different culture. I kind of get the culture that I had back in high school, kind of like the football is everything. Down south, how it is, that's the culture I get now. And, I feel like it's just going to attract many more people to Michigan State and the best recruits.
We pulled a quote from his introductory press conference, Mel Tucker, that I thought was interesting right when I heard it, watched it live, and I was like, what does he mean by that? So I want you to shine a little light, and I think you have already to a certain degree. So this was a quote from Mel Tucker's press conference. He said, "It's going to be about changing the culture. That's going to be the first order of business." Now, when I heard that, I thought, okay, again, we mentioned it earlier, what exactly does that mean? Because that could mean anything. But I didn't take it as a jab at Dantonio at all. I think he has a great deal of respect for Dantonio. But there was something that he saw from afar and from those early conversations that he thought we need to depart from that. I mean, can you speak to a little bit about, was there something that they got away from that you think they needed to get away from in terms of the Dantonio era? It seemed on the outside to be getting kind of stale at the end, again, just from the outside looking in.
I think whenever a new coach is hired, he wants to change the culture. He wants things to be his way. And I would want that if I was a head coach or if I was a position coach or anything, if I was going to new school. But what was I about to say?
He's making it his own.
He's making his own.
Yeah,
There's still stuff with Coach Dantonio and all the stuff he's done. He respects Coach Dantonio. We all respect Coach Dantonio, but there were some things with the program that I think were best. You know, some guys have left on their own, and some guys they kind of forced out. But you know, I think it was for the best of the team. Obviously, if Coach Tuck saw that, we all saw that. You know, and we're just trying to limit all the distractions. If guys aren't showing up, guys showing up late, or you know, guys not taking it serious and guys not making the most of it, why not give somebody else an opportunity?
I don't know anybody else, and Ken, you can jump in now too. Like, I don't know anybody else that fits that Mel Tucker mold. I mean, he honestly seems like a one of one because you see there's a million hard asses out there, famously. I mean, NFL, college, doesn't matter. Bill Parcells, Nick Saban. And then you have a lot of like the jolly, you know, Dabo types. Although he's struggling now at Orgeron, that, you know, I'm not saying that they're pushovers, but like it's a little bit more kind of friendly. I don't know anybody that's known as in practice, like no towels, better have your helmet on right, like, or else. But I'm also tweeting out pictures of my shoes every week. Like he really does. I don't know anybody else like this guy. I mean, he's 101, right? Is that fair?
Yeah.
And there's nobody like this guy.
He's unique.
He's an alien. Like he's got kind of the best of both because he can relate. Like he gets the social media thing, which is I think important. And he's also like going to be on your ass if you're not doing your job. It's like he's a dream, I think, to a fan base.
Yeah,
really.
that actually threw me off the first time I ever seen him post. Like, because he had like J's on. Like, he got better shoe game than me, bro. Like,
let me get some. Let me get some.
Like, because like you know, we in practice is meat and potatoes and stuff like that. No flair, none of that. Then I see his Instagram and he posting Jordans and stuff. Like, dang,
It's
like,
like contrast there.
bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, I get like there's, you know, Billy badass coaches that never crack a smile, and Dantonio was kind of that guy. And you can win big. Saban's the ultimate example. No better coach ever. And then you get the flip side where, you know, the more jolly and stuff, but you never see it in the same package. Like you may get the friendly guy that gets mad at one practice on a Thursday, but a guy that has like kind of two completely different hats, and both for the right place and the right time are perfect. Like you don't want to be gruff with the media. We've seen coaches do that in all sports, really. I don't think it ever serves you well. You know, and we've seen sort of the flip side where they're, you know, kind of goofy at practice. The Detroit Lions have a long history of that, and that doesn't go well either. So you have like sort of the one of one alien that does both, which is why there's 2 commissioned paintings of the man on my walls and a third photo. But he's just a fascinating one of one, I think. So I want to transition to this. Connor, you famously scored 2 touchdowns in a very famous game last year against the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, the 2020 Michigan game. I just want to hit it a little bit. So there were, we talked about it Northwestern, some doubts, who knows, you know, 3.5. You guys were anywhere between 21.5 point to 24.5 point underdogs going into Ann Arbor last year. You went through it. There were not a lot of buyers into you guys even having a prayer. So we pulled some of them. I could have done 100. There were a lot out there, but this is Chris Solari, friend of the show, not picking on Chris. This was everybody pretty much. This was his prediction in the Detroit Free Press. Jim Harbaugh took no mercy a year ago and will look to score until the final whistle. Michigan wins the game 45-17. That's what he had the morning of the game. Moving on, this was just one of many snapshots of the Michigan fan base. Could have picked a million. You guys just lost to Rutgers at home and you live in East Lansing. That's a sad existence if you ask me. Michigan's going to blow out your backs next week, too. We're on the rise, and you're about to pay millions of dollars for last place for years to come. This is days before the kickoff. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And last but not least, this asshole chiming in. This is me, the same day as Buffman. This is our friend Ant Wright, former Michigan basketball player, was talking about, you know, what's the spread going to be in Vegas for the game. This is right after Michigan hammered Minnesota, and we lost to Rutgers. My answer was, I'll answer a different but similar question. How many points would my friend Ant need to give me in this game before I take MSU? I would literally need 27 points to begin considering betting it. I just don't see how MSU keeps it competitive. I hope I'm wrong. Now, I was a lot friendlier than Buffman. I was not calling us losers or anything like that, but my diehard bleed green and white soul was like, I just, unless my Michigan friend is going to offer me a 4-touchdown spread, I ain't making a bet with him. I didn't buy it. What happened? Like, were you guys shot? Like, you did something nobody saw coming. I don't know anybody that picked you guys to win, and you won comfortably. It was a double-digit win until the backdoor score at the end. What happened there? Take me through that.
So just the Rutgers game, it was all over the place. I think we had like 7 turnovers and then 2 more on 4th down. So, and we were still in the game. So it was kind of like we got enough. Obviously, our record didn't show that last year, but we were very up and down. But when we knew when we didn't turn the ball over, and even if we just flipped the field with a punt, our defense was good enough to go out there. Obviously, we had Antoine Simmons, Naquan Jones, Shakur Brown. Just, we had a lot of good pieces and other players that were good role players. Antoine was running from sideline to sideline, played lights out. Defense played lights out. They made it extremely hard on them. And our offense, we knew it was going to be a muddy game running the ball with Aiden Hutchinson, Chris Hinton, Carlos Kemp, and the guy that just got drafted to the Colts, 1st round. So we knew it was going to be a rough game. We knew we were going to have to max protect and take our shots deep. And Ricky had hell of a game, especially for a true freshman.
Ricky White.
Yep. Jaden Reed had a really good game. Speedy Naylor. And when I got the ball, I made the most of it. And Rocky played lights out. He didn't turn the ball over. And he managed the game with the deep shots, the deep balls, and throwing it underneath and just knowing the different situations. And I think we had the mindset whenever we played Michigan, everybody's locked in. We got a lot of kids from Michigan. We know how important the rivalry is. And growing up, I was an Ohio State fan watching my brother. So I hated Michigan already, and I still hate them. And just like when we'll play Michigan, he'll see how serious it gets. And I used to always think it was the Ohio State-Michigan game, but like when you play in that game, you're like, it's on. And luckily sadly we didn't have fans. I wish there was fans. I wish we just beat them at home with fans. That was the only thing that could.
The crowd noise was about similar to if they were in there.
Yeah.
With what you guys did. I mean,
it would have been quiet.
Wouldn't have been that much louder if there were fans.
Yeah, but beating that team, it's always good to beat them, but hopefully we can do it again. We will do it again. We will. Right. We don't like talking about the other opponents, but we will do it again. Hopefully we just stay confident but humble, and let our work take care of itself and let our pads talk.
You guys had no reason to be confident in that game from the outside. That's what blows my mind. You come in and Rocky's just throwing bombs to Ricky White to start. It's like I can't believe you guys came in with the swagger that you did. I mean, thank God. But it's like that I think is a testament to your coach, right? I mean, obviously to you as individuals, but the fact that you guys came in confident, the video that they only put out a little bit of it, but the video from right before you guys left the tunnel to go out for the game, Mel's like screaming at you guys, like fired up, and he's getting everyone going. Like I thought that was such a good sign early in the program with all the challenges that was obviously with COVID being faced with a new coach. It was a good sign to get off the mat that quickly. I will put it to you, Ken. You've been here under a year. We talked about you famously committed on the day there was an insurrection.
Did I really do that shit?
It's January 6th. I think the people with the moose heads were in the halls of the Capitol right when you tweeted that out. So, yeah, there were 2 things trending on Twitter. It was the MSU Capitol takeover and Kenneth Walker III commits to Michigan State. You have impeccable timing. But you've been here obviously well under a year. You haven't played in that game yet. Do you get any sense yet of what that means? I mean, I know you have other fish to fry right now with other opponents, and you don't look ahead, like Connor said, but, like, do you get the sense, is there any feel for the contempt in that building for that program?
They don't. It's like nobody liked them at all.
Nobody likes them.
They don't even mention their name. Like, the school down the road, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I feel it, but, like, I haven't been in that game, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm like, they tell me, like I got a lot of teammates tell me, even Connor, like, they tell me how the game is, and like, they like, bro, you gotta go through it to understand what we saying, type stuff. Like, but yeah, it's serious, bro.
Yeah, Connor said you guys are gonna win. I'm already excited. I'm pumped for that. I'll be up there. It'll be my first game in a couple of years. It's I got my hotel. I'll be up there 2 nights, so I'm excited. Obviously, we can maybe get to that later on. You do have other opponents in front of you, but. I'm on the record that Connor said it's going to be a win, so I'm running with that. But
I know he got some Michigan fans watching this, but
you should feel good.
Yeah, I say that because with what we have and what Coach Tuck says, we believe it, and
Yep.
we're gonna live it. Hopefully,
Yeah,
he talks about how we can beat everybody on our schedule. There's no reason why everybody's on scholarship too. If we all invest and we all do what we need to do and we all take the game plan serious and get our questions asked that we need to go into the game. The hay's never in the barn. That's another quote Coach Tuck always says. The hay's never in the barn. There's always time to game plan, whether that's before the game, right after walkthroughs. Just always ask all your questions and to make sure it's always right to double check. And I think if we do that and we take care of the ball, obviously that's the most important thing in the organization. If we do that, everything else will take care of itself because we have enough players.
Yeah, and I also feel like it's never cocky though. Like you can't get cocky. Like that's not. I feel like that's what you're trying to get across. Like we're not cocky about it though. Like
No,
we're just confident in like what we've been learning. Like what we you know what I'm saying. We've been putting in work for it. So.
Well, and that's sort of been the nature of the rivalry too. Is Michigan has tended to be the cocky ones, and we're more quietly confident. I mean, that's sort of been the MO, and I think that's how Mark Dantonio really flipped the script on that. And I mean, the last 15 years, Michigan State has really controlled the rivalry. I think that's why that approach. Just before I move on, there wasn't 1% of you, Connor. You're a human being. Come on, you saw what they did to Minnesota. We were shitting our pants on Twitter, man. Like the Twitter idiots like me. We were like, oh shit, this is gonna. We just lost. It was 49-3 or 41-3 the year before. We just saw it. Like it wasn't at least a little party. Like oh shit, just a little bit. Not even a little bit.
What you say?
Yeah, were you a little bit like oh shit, we're in for it when you saw what they did to Minnesota, a team that in hindsight they didn't end up being good, but we thought Minnesota was good at the time. Joe Milton looks like Cam Newton in his MVP year for the Panthers.
He did. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
He was actually, he's 6'6", 250. He looks really nice when they played Minnesota. I remember watching that game. I think that was a Friday night game.
Yeah, I think it was.
So I watched it in the hotel, and I was just like, we've always been the underdogs, and it's always nicer to be the underdogs. I'd rather be the underdog than the people that are expected to win every game. They got to protect that. Why not go take that from them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the proof's in the pudding with what happened. I still think that's the biggest testament to the coach that you guys came out like that. But anyway, we'll move on to this for season expectations. You talked about it. You guys think you're going to win every game, and obviously that's a great mentality. Certainly before the Northwestern game, but even now, the general stance of the fan base, mine, most people I know are, hey, if you go 6-6, it's Mel Tucker's first real year. 6-6 is a great win. No one will be mad. We'll be happy about a bowl game. But Connor, in particular, like you're done after this year. Like 6-6, you're probably pissed, right?
Yeah. If we lose one game, I'm pissed. I could have another year with COVID.
Oh, that's right. You do have the extra year of eligibility.
When I was going to leave, that year didn't count. But if that opportunity, if that's the best opportunity for me to come back, I'd maybe reconsider it. But if not, if I can move on to the next level, that's something that I would want to pursue. But our expectations are to, go 1-0 every week, and just we're not happy with 8-4. I mean, that's mediocre.
8-4, there'll be a parade. I'm just telling you.
But that's just
not in your building, but
no, because I feel like we put in too much work to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you put in a lot of work. Like, you're not satisfied with like losing at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not.
If we got to run the ball the whole game 50 times with him, come on, let's block. Let's do this.
I don't know. I mean, apparently your performance wasn't impressive enough to the Walter Camp folks. I mean, we didn't really hit on that. We took a picture. What the hell was that about? Backing up to Northwestern.
I honestly don't know, but I don't even like.
What happened?
You feel me? I don't even. I seen it and all that, but like I don't get into it. That's just like motivation. You know what I'm saying? To do better. You know what I'm
guess.
Saying? Like if they feel like I wasn't. I guess worthy enough, I guess I should say, like to get chosen for that. I mean, that's just that. I don't know.
Oh, well, but I'll grab the pitchfork for you. I mean,
yeah.
you can stay humble. The fans will stay. That was ridiculous. I mean, it's just the principle. Like there were some people out there, mostly on the Michigan side, they're like, "Why do you care so much about a Walter Camp Weekly Award?" I do get that perspective, but like at the same time, when you have 100 yards more than the other guy and 2 more touchdowns and you're playing a better opponent on the road versus at home, I don't know if, like, do they like the color orange more? Like, at what metric is there? But anyway, I digress. That was ridiculous, but whatever. I think you'll get your credit in due time, and there's other accolades that have already rolled in. So we'll transition to this briefly, then we'll get to the speed round. This broke today. I mean, my prep sheet was turned in. I had to come back to it. Matt Ishbia, you guys are both sponsored players now, I think, by default, whether you wanted to or not at this point. It's just announced Matt Ishbia, United Wholesale Mortgage. Ishbia is a billionaire, former Michigan State basketball player. Did the real big NIL deal, $500 a month for everyone on your team, including you guys, obviously. Everyone on the basketball team, you could be a walk-on, doesn't matter. I mean, that's $500 a month in college. That is like 500 burgers at Burgerama. That's a lot. Like, it goes a long way.
You know what Burgerama is?
Never heard of it.
You gotta learn. We'll teach you about Burgerama, and then we'll transition to who Tony Mandarick was. So we'll get to that. But just, it's early in this NIL stuff. But like, what's the world been like? I mean, just talk about it a little bit. You guys have been through sort of the pre and post world.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, it's like a blessing for us, like college athletes around the world, because like we actually like dropped in like at a perfect time to like actually get paid for like playing in college. You know, I remember when I was young, I used to hear about it all the time, like college players don't get paid and all that. Like I used to play NCAA, and then out of nowhere, like they took the game away because they didn't want to pay college athletes and things like that. But like I feel like it's a blessing and a great opportunity for college athletes around the world.
I don't get, like, one of my best friends, obviously has since graduated college, but is a world-class violinist, has traveled the world. He was in college at Michigan State and was getting paid. He was on scholarship for music and was getting paid at all sorts of gigs all over the place. It's like, how can this guy, also on scholarship like you guys, just in a different building, get paid to do a gig, but you guys can't like sign your name? Like, I mean, really, that's an argument that, okay, maybe we don't pay you to play. That would actually be apples to apples, but like you can't even like sign, for an hour at a signing or something. Like, to me, it was always odd, right? Is that like a fair takeaway?
Yeah, I didn't think it was fair, necessarily for student athletes, because there was other people getting paid, like you said. But what I like the most about the NIL deal is you never know what. I came from a good background, but you never know what the guy next to you has gone through. And, the walk-ons especially, they come in there and they bust their tails every day. So $500 is a lot of money to them. And we get our scholarship checks and stuff like that, but $500 can do a lot, and that can help with some of the kids' rent. Some of the kids can send money back home. You just never know what the guy next to you has gone through or has gone through. So that's my perspective on it. And, hopefully we get more. And obviously, the better you perform and the better you play on Saturdays or Fridays or whenever our games are, the more opportunities you come. He had a hell of a game, and it opened a lot of doors open for him and more opportunities, and that's just how it's going to be for everybody. So if you want to get paid, why not go out there and perform? And Coach Tuck talked about it. If we all go out there and win, it's going to bring more to Michigan State and bring more to the football team and the guys next to you and for yourself, but it's an honor and, it's a blessing because no one really ever thought this day was going to come.
Mel Tucker's really leaning into it too. Like, again, I don't want this to be, an hour when we wrap this on casting aspersions on Dantonio, whom I love, but I do think Mel Tucker is probably better equipped and more amenable to this change. I think like we kind of have the perfect guy. He's totally embracing it, right? I mean, there's no downside that you sense from Tucker on NIL.
Yeah, that's like actually surprised me too. Like he's like really for it. Like he want us to like, do that, get into the NIL. We have meetings about it and everything like that. And he like pushes it. Like, so that's pretty cool and exciting. We're
going to have to get more money out of Ishbia if you're going to start dressing like Mel, though. I mean, I don't know. I've seen, what a $1,200, $1,500 suit looks like. They don't look that nice. I don't know what he's paying. I don't know what Italian he flew in to tailor his clothes, but that guy's the best dressed guy in the state of Michigan, if not the Midwest, man. So, yeah, I don't know. We won't be dressing like Mel anytime soon. But, yeah, just like the $500. Even if, like you mentioned, the walk-on's not going to be doing some signing typically, but it can make such a difference. I just feel like it's good that there's some compensation for what you guys are doing, especially for the walk-ons that are paying tuition. I mean, they have nothing really in it for them except the glory, which, I mean, I'm sure it is glorious being a walk-on that never plays. But, yeah, I think it's a good thing for sure. So we'll get to the speed round. We talked about it a little bit before. Going to go through quickly. We'll have some fun. Let's start it. All right, I'm ready for this. So we'll start with you, Connor, and throw it to Ken. Starting here, your most fiery assistant coach. So we've talked about Mel Tucker to death. We've talked about his fire and his yelling and his fire and brimstone. Who is the most fiery assistant coach at Michigan State?
Coach Ailes, 100%.
Yeah, that's
6 a.m. in the morning, he's yelling. He's ready.
Now, who is that for those that don't know?
He's our special team coach and our linebacker coach. Super intense, and he's always on 100. Like, you'll never catch him just chilling. Like, he's bouncing around, jumping. One time in the special team meeting, he's like, "Connor, stand up, stand up." And he's like, he's showing, like, if you, like, basically wrap up somebody, and he's like, "Don't let me out." Like, he was, like, trying to hold on to me, and, like, I literally just threw him across. His glasses came off and stuff.
Threw it, like, on the ground? And he wasn't mad about this?
no. He was embracing it. He was actually trying to wrestle.
He was trying to, like just squeeze me and not let go, and I'm like, he's like, "Try for real," and I'm like, I just threw him. He's like on the ground. His glasses come off and
He
stuff.
was still yelling.
He's still yelling. So you agree, Ken? I mean, it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Coach Ailes, he the most. I'm talking about from early morning to like after practice, bro. He's like going.
He's bounced off the walls.
all
I mean, he's like more so than Tucker. It sounds like. Right? I mean, he might be the
wild.
most.
Yeah.
That's the new culture. It's not the family, calm atmosphere anymore. It's family, but it's an intense family.
Yeah.
We'll move on. So this is a fun one. I don't know how easy this will be for you to pull. Maybe not as easy as the last one. So I'm going to ask both of you, your MSU teammate road trip companions. So for the parameters, you're driving cross country. You can take 2 guys with you that you're going to be in a car with for hours and hours. You're going to be at Yosemite or wherever the hell you're going to be. What 2 are you taking? It's nothing to do with how good of players they are. Just the 2 best guys that you want to be on that kind of trip with.
You go.
You can start. Yeah, start with you, Ken.
I gotta take my dog Eli Collins.
Elijah Collins?
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah.
He's here in July.
Yeah. Oh, he came here?
Yeah, he was here. I want to see him get some carries, but I got, a guy that might come at his expense that just ran, Madden numbers on his opponent. So I got to be careful with what I say, but I'd like to see Elijah out there a little bit.
Nah, Eli, he that dude for real.
Great guy.
That's my dog, yeah. Eli and who else? Let me think.
I know who you can go with.
Who?
Simeon.
My dog Simeon gotta be Simeon. Yeah, Elijah Collins and Simeon Barrow. That's my dog. He on the D line, number 8. That's my dog though.
All right on. So that's your 2. What do you got, Connor?
I got like 3 or 4. We might we might have to get in the RV for real.
Yeah, we'll get the RV.
I'm gonna go Big Russo. He's hilarious. He just always life of the party. Good energy.
Anthony Russo. Yeah.
Yep. Spencer Brown, funniest kid on the team by far. Funny,
Spencer Brown.
Just always cracking jokes. He's the biggest, funniest kid on the team. Like, he has this high-pitched laugh.
His laugh, bro. Is crazy.
I'll go them 2. Powers Warren. His dad's a commissioner. He's just got here. He's a tight end. I go them 3, and then my 4th. I like to laugh, so I'm gonna go Harold Joyner.
Harold Joyner.
He's funny.
Another guy in the running back room.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
No, dude is actually.
You wouldn't.
He's banged up right now. Isn't he hurt? Oh, I don't want to get you in trouble, but
he's good.
He's good.
Okay. He's practiced. He's good. He's
He's
good.
been practicing all that.
All right.
But
good.
no, all 3 of those guys are funny. I like to laugh and have good positive vibes, and they're all just funny in their own ways, and they're just all enjoyable.
You're going to be the level-headed one in the group, Connor. I don't know you that well, but a couple of times I feel like you'll mellow out the crazy there a little bit. I like that you're getting an RV. I mean, I think you could get away with a Lincoln Navigator with that trip. We'd have to add a couple more to justify the RV expense.
Spence gonna take that.
Yeah,
Spence.
Spence.
Fair. That's fair. So we'll move on. Now, this might be tough for you, Ken, because you've been there for 5 seconds, but the best East Lansing food joint. Now, all my favorites for the most part are gone because I'm old, but we threw Crunchies up there. One of my favorite remaining is Crunchies burgers and beer up there. But your East Lansing food spot. Whoever wants to start is fine.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm from Memphis, so we got some good food down there.
Yeah, East Lansing's a little lacking. I love it. I love it, but come on.
So I guess I would have to go with where would I go? I'll probably go with Crunchies.
Yeah,
because I
Crunchies
actually went
spot.
there. I went there with Simeon actually. I forgot what burger I got.
Doesn't
But
matter.
I got a burger and it was pretty good. So yeah, I have to go with Crunchies too.
You may have had to wait 45 minutes for it to come out, but it's the Crunchies. Unless something's changed, it's like it's the best place ever. But I hope you have a long time.
Yeah.
Like I hope you have forever to wait for it.
Right.
Hopefully, Crunchy sees that, get you a little deal.
Yeah, hit you up. I'll send it to him. I'll cut out the part where I said their service sucked. But Connor, who you got?
I'm not I'm from down south, so I like a good barbecue. And there's really not.
We suck. The culinary arts are lost.
And there's a lot of chain restaurants, that I've had Crunchies once. I hear some Roadhouse the other day that their wings are pretty good. But
there's no home run.
It's tough because Chick-fil-A is
it's
Georgia. I can't say Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
But Sansu.
Yeah.
You ever had Sansu?
Oh yeah.
I like their sushi. You like sushi?
Good.
No.
Not a sushi guy.
You probably eating the wrong stuff.
Maru's the best sushi place up there if you've ever been to Maru, but Sansu's great too.
I've been to Maru. That's over by Eastwood.
There's 2 locations, but yeah, that's one of them. Yeah. Yeah, Maru's a great spot. I will say, I love East Lansing. I prefer East Lansing to Ann Arbor, but the one area they've got us is the food stuff. Their 17th best restaurant's better than whatever our best one is, but that's the one thing we'll give them. You can't argue with Zingerman's. So we'll move on. Your MSU teammate bodyguard. So you're going to a signing or a personal appearance or whatever you're doing, and you can have, we usually Calhoun, who was probably the toughest guy in his era. Who you want as your bodyguard? It's got to protect you in the club or your signing or whatever.
I'll go with Jared Horst.
That is a good one.
Why?
Boy.
Well, he's big, but has he got the snarl? Because there's some big softies out there, too.
He is.
We had to calm him down.
You have to calm him down. I'm talking about in practice when he first, he is just like that. He's got a motor. He never stopped.
Tell people who he is, because not everyone has my encyclopedic knowledge.
Okay, so he transferred here from Arkansas State. He's a left tackle. But yeah,
he's big,
huge,
yeah,
real huge. But yeah, I'm talking about fighting in practice, everybody trying to get a piece of defense.
He's fight with the defense.
No, it was just that's how he played. He played real hard, but the defense would try to get at him after the play just because he plays so hard and we would have to slow him down after every play, bro.
Every now and then he'll do some extra stuff and they're the defense, hey, let's go get him the D-line. We're at him. And Coach Chuck's yo, chill.
Yeah. But nah, it's great to have him for real. That would be my
So he's got your back. Are you kind of the same answer, Connor?
No. I'm walking in with 2 bodyguards.
You're adding people.
I keep on adding.
Yeah, that's all right.
Chase Klein.
Okay, why?
He's crazy. He'll run through a brick wall. He's neck brace guy. You know when you see that, you're like, is he okay? You got to kind of double check. And my second is Jacob Ponishu.
Oh yeah,
I can see Jacob being on the list for sure.
You can see it a little bit. I know you remember that Michigan game.
Oh yeah,
when he hit Shea Patterson.
Yeah,
but I like guys with a little edge. If you're gonna be the bodyguard, come on. I want you to want to choke somebody out.
Yeah, you got to be a little nuts. If 50 guys that are have a role on a football team, somebody's insane. I want the craziest guy. Right. Even if he's the 12th biggest, can't be a little guy. Give me some size and some crazy. That'd be my pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, good answers. So we'll move on. The best Michigan State logo. We threw a few of them up there. You don't have to pick from this 3. Obviously, we left out the most common one, the sort of modern Michigan State helmet. There's a lot of debate about the logos and the alternate uniforms. We'll get to that in a second to finish. But what's your favorite Michigan State logo?
My favorite one is just the Michigan State, the script. The script.
You like the script.
It's a cool retro throwback look, and it's just it looks like OG, super original and super bam, Michigan State, brand.
That's what you had on the helmets for the Northwestern game. Yeah. You agree?
I like the script, but I also like gruff.
You like the gruff?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I like that gruff. I love the script though, because when we came out with the script, when we seen, we was going like, where that one, like, bro, that's
You guys get into that? Like, do the players actually give a shit about the alternate uniforms? That's not a huge deal.
The only one I was kind of like, was I like the top with the state when it's like, looks like it's a Microsoft Word and it's like too big of font on the page.
Yeah.
I like that one, but I don't like the super neon pants. But I like when we go dark pants with it because it kind of balances it out, and then we'll go green and neon cleats. So it doesn't look too bad, but all the skill guys love it. But the O-line guys are like, no.
I like all the weird stuff except the neon, and that's ironically our last one. So you're going to get to see yourself in that get up right now. The neon Michigan State jerseys. I mean, this is just, I'm sorry. For the audio listeners that can't see it, I love every weird thing we've ever done. Like the pro combat, the gold, the weird bronze stuff. Like, I'm in. I have all that stuff. This is the one I couldn't get down with. I mean, it just, come on. I mean, you said, well, you don't like that, right?
I like the top, and the helmet's sweet. It's just the neon pants. I'm telling you,
the neon pants are the worst. I agree, but
I get Seattle Seahawk vibes with the neon pants.
Yeah,
and it's just like, it's for like the young recruiting. That like, you know how that goes. But once you get to college, it's just like, But when you're in high school, you like that stuff. It's like Oregon's doing it. Oh, it's new. Let's throw on this. It's just like Nike just wants us to look nice. And it's like, come on, I'll throw it on. It doesn't matter. But
you're a conveyor belt for Nike at Michigan State. I mean, you guys get all the cool shit early. Where do you stand on neon? I know you haven't worn them yet.
OG, I don't even know too much about the.
But we can put the picture back up. You could be a fashion critic. I mean, would you feel sexy running up and down the sidelines wearing that ridiculous? I'm sorry. Like, hey, come on. Yeah, I don't have any neon stuff in here. I have every version of everything we've ever done except that. But
I ain't gonna lie, it looks straight to me.
You like it too? You guys at Colton Pouncey. Colton Pouncey thinks I'm nuts. Colton Pouncey, great guy, been on the show, but he's a big neon guy. I'm not a neon guy. But anyway, we'll wrap there. We do have, by the way, the script S over my shoulder. I don't know if you noticed that, and the gruff in the corner. There's some white behind them, but there's no neon anything in here. But so you guys have a walkthrough tomorrow morning. I got to get you the hell out. I promise I'd be quick with you. Mm-hmm. I said I'd get you out in an hour. We're like right on the dot, so we'll wrap there. But just want to say congrats on a great win. You guys both had a big part in it. Connor, I've told you off mic several times I'm a big fan of yours. I'm just starting to learn our buddy Ken here, but you didn't take long to endure yourself to Spartan Nation, so it's great to have you. It's going to be a fun season, I think. I think a fun transitional year where I'm excited to see what happens. You guys are talking about the college football playoff already, which is great. I think that's awesome, but it's a fun time. I think you guys are here at a great time that'll be remembered for a long time. So I thank you for coming here. I know I've made that drive. East Lansing to Rochester sucks. Appreciate your guys' time and wish you well this weekend against Youngstown State.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us, man.
Thank you for having us. It means a lot. Thank you.
No, of course. You're welcome anytime. And I'll say to you guys, go green.
Go white.
Go white.
All right. Good luck to you guys. It'll be a fun year. I'll see you guys in Ann Arbor. I'll be the dope waving to you when you come out of the tunnel. So you guys can pretend to notice me. So we have a really fun couple weeks ahead. We have the Becca Polanski episode scheduled for tentatively next week. That was rescheduled from last month. I'm excited for that. We were talking to a teammate of your guys, Jaden Reed, right before the show. He was saying, hey, man, can I come on tomorrow? I got to see if I can pull that off, but I may be back with Jaden Reed tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. We're working on that, but we appreciate you guys. We have a lot of momentum, and we're grateful for all that and all of you. Thank you again to Virgil's Vineyard, the producers of The Smuggler's Son, our wonderful early on board sponsor. Thank you to Ben Augusta, the great and powerful Oz on the other side of the wall, who always makes himself available even when I send him the entire prep sheet 47 minutes before the production. And Eric Williamson on his couch in his boxers, graphic set design, does a great job. Thank you to everyone. Thank you again to Connor Heyward. Thank you to Ken Walker for joining us. Ken Walker III, who, man, what a debut. I can't wait to see what's going on next. All eyes are going to be on you next week, man. So I wish you guys well. We'll see you soon. Spiro Avenue Show, Justin Spiro. Catch you next time. Thank you.